Jessie, I like to be 100 with all my guests, so I have to be 100 with you, all right?
Okay, let's do it.
I didn't realize how much of an absolute juggernaut you truly are until I read the about the author in your latest book and started researching you. Amazing.
Thank you.
Feel free to kick back and relax because this is going to take a bit. Grammy nominated, 6-time Juno Award winner, best-selling author, TEDTalk speaker, philanthropist, activist, Billboard Women in Music Impact Award recipient, multi-platinum singer-songwriter with over 3 billion streams. Oh, and a fellow Canadian and fellow bungee jumper, Jessie Reyez. Welcome to America's Dance 30 for the first time.
Hola, hola. Thank you very much. What a lovely introduction.
It is such an honor finally meeting you. Now, we're going to be chatting about your book coming up. We're going to get to know you a little better with Finky's firsts. I'm going to ask you a question that you have possibly never been asked before. And congratulations on the incredible success of Ocean with Calvin Harris.
Thank you. Thank you.
So amazing. Now, what feels better, releasing a song or releasing a book?
Releasing a book.
Really? Why?
Because the process of creation and the process of bringing something from the invisible like to the real world, which is the process for both songs and just strictly writing, is so fluid. But in music, you have to stay within the restrictions of the key. You know, the key of the song that you're in, the chords, the tempo. There's restrictions. Boxes allow for innovation, which is why there's so many beautiful songs. But when that creativity is able to be expressed without any sort of boundary, it's almost like having this horse that I've been training and it does tricks and it jumps and it's great. But then when I could just let it loose in a field, I just watch it run. That's what it feels like to be able to write books and be able to like give them to the world that way, because it's that same level of intimacy and vulnerability, just a bit more just raw.
Totally makes sense. And I love the way you describe that. Well, I can't wait to talk about the book coming up. And I can't wait to talk about how Ocean was born with Calvin Harris, especially since it's got such a crazy backstory. But first, let's get to know Jessie Reyez a little better with Finky's firsts. I always love finding out the origin story of artists. I saw that you actually learned guitar as a kid and then started writing songs when you were in high school. But when you were growing up, was music the first thing that you wanted to get into, or was there something else you wanted to be when you grew up?
I used to dance. I used to dance when I was a kid, but to be honest, I think music was the first one. But unbeknownst to me, like, it's one of those memories that gets told to you after you've grown up. My mom said she caught me in front of the TV mimicking Pavarotti and trying my best to do opera. And I was 3 years old, and she took me to the closest piano, the closest music school, and pretty much begged the teacher to take me on because he was like, no, 3's too young, she's too little, and she wouldn't leave till he accepted me. And that's how it started, yeah. But dance, music, singing, writing, always that world.
So where did you veer? Why didn't you actually go into full-on dancing?
Why didn't that end up coming to full fruition? I was a professional dancer for a while too. Like, I used to dance in the CFL, which is like, well, you know, the Canadian equivalent to NFL.
Yep.
And was a Zumba instructor for a minute there too. So I definitely I took it, but I don't know. Music and writing always felt more like home as opposed to just an expression. It felt like home.
Gotcha. Well, let me stop really quick and just explain that I'm from Montreal, so you don't have to explain anything Canadian to me.
Right, the Alouettes. Come on.
Yes. So you don't have to explain anything in the future. Now, when you were trying to decide on an artist project name, was using your real name your first choice, or were there other names you were considering?
There was other names. There were monikers that never saw the light of day, thank God. There was one that was like Jessie Knots, because of knots in my stomach, which I thought was so creative. There was one point I was Lil Flame, which again, by the grace of God, didn't stick.
I kind of like Little Flame.
Do you? Great. Make one of them.
Feel free to put out music under that so we know now.
Yeah, maybe
Now,
that'll be project.
Now, you recently just wrapped a European tour, a U.S. tour, a book reading tour. Do you remember your first time ever performing for a crowd?
Yeah. I remember doing like family shows and then putting them through that. It was so funny because it was just a matter of performing. Like I remember hosting church, which is so fun. Like I don't know, 6. And my like I went to Catholic school and Catholic church growing up too. So like I would do the whole like bread breaking and like singing and my family was like, okay. So that was the first one at home, and then in school I remember early talent shows that I would participate in.
And were you comfortable right from the start?
I mean, comfortable is I would just do it scared. I was nervous as hell, but I would just do it scared.
I love that because still, when I step out on stage in front of 30,000 people, I still do it scared. So I love how you put that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not only have you written songs for yourself, but you've written songs for other artists, Calvin Harris, Dua Lipa, Sam Smith. But do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
I don't remember the first one I ever wrote. I remember the first one. The one I remember first was something I was like, I don't know, grade 4 or grade 5. And it was so ironic. I guess I was listening to a lot of TLC and I got influenced. But the irony of a kid talking about not growing up too fast, like that's what the song was about. There was a specific line saying like, don't grow up too fast. Yeah, something like that.
That's awesome. Now, I saw in an old post of yours, I think it was a snip from an old yearbook where you said that your favorite celebrity is yourself, which I absolutely love. But do you remember the first celebrity that you met that you were starstruck?
I can't remember which happened first, but the only 2 times I've ever been like and had to like get myself together was Eminem and Beyonce.
Oh my God.
Those
Jeez.
were my first, like,
I don't even know how I would react. How did it go? Especially meeting Beyonce.
I didn't pass out, so that's a win. didn't yak, so that's another win. But it was definitely evident that I was much more nervous than I normally am. So I had to get myself together, but I succeeded.
And I'm sure they didn't even notice it. I'm sure it was all inside here.
One of them noticed, one of them didn't. One of them noticed, one of them didn't. But it's okay. You can't win them all.
I love that. Now, as I mentioned, you're a fellow bungee jumper. Was bungee jumping your first adrenaline activity, or was there something you did prior to that?
No, prior. So my pops used to do like competitive diving. Like he would participate in it in that in Colombia, and he got me into it when I was a kid. So I was doing random diving competitions as a little kid and got into just doing platform jumps and cliff jumps and stuff.
Oh my God. What did you think? Because I saw that you did like the highest bungee jump in the world in Africa.
Yeah, I fell in love with. I've been in love with that feeling since I was little.
What blew my mind is you actually backing up and running off of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did she do that? Like when I bungee jumped, I stood there and I looked down and I turned to the instructor and I'm like, are we going to need that pad? Because it doesn't even look like we're over it. And they pretty much had to push me off of it. Oh, yeah, but I've definitely grown up. I've gone on to about 11 sky jumps now. Or
Sick. You're also a fellow. You belong to the tribe.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Have you? So you've skydove?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it absolutely amazing?
It's beautiful, but I definitely like bungee more. But I skydiving is fun as well. Yeah.
I don't know. See, the thing about bungee jumping that gets me is the bouncing. Like, I can't deal with. Do you love that?
Yeah, that's why I did. Because skydiving, you pay because it's not cheap. You pay that and you get the feeling once. But in bungee, you get it again and again and again.
I'm getting nauseous with you just saying that. Now, finally, in Finky's verse, in honor of the success of Ocean, what was your first thought when Calvin said that he was keeping your vocals on it?
I was stoked. I was like, hell yeah, man. It's such a gift to be able to be a writer and an artist because I get to experience both sides of the way that like experience both sides of a song coming to its full fruition. So it felt good. I was happy. I was excited, and I've loved him for a long time. We've been creating together for a long, long time, so it felt right.
That's so awesome. Well, let's talk about this smash. How was Ocean born with Calvin Harris?
We were cooking in LA. I think we're at Burns' studio. So it's me, Calvin, and Burns. And yeah, man, we just, I love when we create this way where it's just open. You just jam. You just jam and you make whatever God gives you in the room. And then you take it and you put it down and you make another and you make another. So that's what we were doing. And then he sent it to me a few days later and was like, I love this one.
Now, how long ago did you guys start working on it?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Oh,
Maybe.
wow.
Hmm.
Now, I love finding out how long singers and songwriters have stuff backed up on their computer because, like, I remember speaking to an artist that they had a song on their hard drive for like 10 years. What's the
Yeah.
oldest song that you're holding on to?
It's this one song. I'm probably gonna change the title. It's called Brujeria, and it might come on my next project. But I love it, and I've held on to it for so long. But she's just never fit. She's just never fit. It hasn't been the right time, and I've loved her for years. So I'm excited for her to finally see the light of day.
Well, congratulations on the success of Ocean.
Thank
Let's
you.
talk about your book, Words of a Goat Princess, Volume 2, The People's Purge. I absolutely love the concept and the illustrations on this book. Got it on Amazon. For our AD30 fam that might not be familiar with how you wrote this, can you please share? Because I love it.
So first of all, shout out to Eloise Dio, who's the amazing artist who did all the illustrations from the book. She's from France. I met her in like 2016 when Figures first came out. She was doing artwork for like fan artwork, and I found her page and I fell in love with her. And then it's been a creative union ever since. So shout out to Eloise. But how I made them, I was feeling really stifled because I wanted to release music, but in this world, that's not really how it works. Like as much as you want it, you can be done a song today and then you want to release it tomorrow when you can, but if this is what you do for work, then you got to think about okay, production contracts and marketing, and if DSPs are ready and artwork, and there's just a whole bunch of added logistics that come with it, which are champagne problems, but it's not conducive to the natural process of what I think the artistic rhythm is, which is to make and release, not make and hoard, which so much of us go through. So I was frustrated, and then a solution kind of fell into my hands with Instagram and story prompts. So I kind of went online and I was like, "Oh, make a song about," and I posted it, and then people would give me these condensed potent one-line sentences that felt like humanity secrets, because I think the level of anonymity that exercise provided gave people more freedom to just be very, very vulnerable. So these insane topics in a couple words started coming, and I would make these 15-second songs inspired by the prompts, and it felt right. And I kept doing it as an exercise and was satiated. And then I think one day I didn't have my guitar. So as opposed to saying write a song about, I changed it to write a piece about. And then poetry's been my first love. The first medal I ever got in my life was a poetry festival when I was like 11 or 12. So it felt like coming home. Felt like coming home. And then they were ephemeral, so they would only be up for 24 hours, which was great. And then I started getting more messages like, "Oh, I wish were all in one place so we could come back to them." And I gave you a prompt 2 months ago, and I don't know where it is now. Would love to see it. Da, da, da. So finally, I was like, "Okay, this is a community effort, so I think it belongs to the community. Let's just make it a project and go." And Words of a Go Princess Volume 2, The People's Purge was born.
Absolutely love that. Now, you mentioned that you were writing poetry as a kid. I wrote poetry as well when I was younger. Did you ever do that thing where you could submit your poem and pay for it to be in a book?
No, did you?
Well, I'm not going to admit it now. Jeez, Jesse. but yes, I did.
Listen, man, I'm not gonna knock the hustle. You do what you gotta do.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on this book. Make sure to pick it up on Amazon. It's so amazing. Now,
Thank you.
before I let you go, I asked ChatGPT to give me a question that Jessie Reyez has never been asked before. So I got to test this out, all right?
I'm so excited, man. ChatGPT blows my mind every day. Let's hear it.
What's one thing that you want your music to do for someone who's hearing it for the first time?
Light a fire. When I was living in Florida and I was bartending, and I think I was like 19 years old, and I always this has always been calling to me from my childhood, like this life and this vocation. And I remember being really frustrated. I had a box full of tips, and I was still doing open mics, and I was doing my best, but I was struggling to find success and or liquidity in music. And I remember I was cleaning out my apartment, and I had put on BJ the Chicago Kids song Dream 2. And it's for anyone that's like, I don't know, lost or looking for that fire to be lit. I suggest they listen to that song, because that song poured gasoline into my soul. And it kind of woke me up, and I was like, the hell am I doing? If this is what I want, this is what I should be chasing full force. And then the next day I got up and I started making opportunities for myself. So the way that song was able to just, I'd love if I could, even if, I mean, that was a torch. If I could provide a match for somebody, I'd be happy, you know?
I absolutely love that. I didn't realize that we were both Canadian and you were in Florida. What part of Florida?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
Well, kind of all over, but Fort Lauderdale, like Hollywood-ish area.
Got you. I'm in Tampa. I knew I loved you for a reason. Jessie
Man.
Reyez, congratulations on everything. Thank you so much for your time with us on America's Dance 30.
Thank you very much, man.